Have you ever pondered over what the future of transportation might look like? As technology advances, we're witnessing a significant shift in gears from traditional petrol-fueled vehicles to electric ones. These plug-and-play wonders are not just growing in popularity, they're potentially revolutionizing our roads and how we travel. Yet, amidst the buzz and the charge, it's essential to pause and analyze. As we stand at this crossroad, it's crucial to understand the advantages and disadvantages of both electronic and petrol cars. Diving into the world of electric vehicles, one would find a plethora of benefits. Let's start by talking about the environmental benefits. Electronic cars are a breath of fresh air, quite literally. They produce zero emissions, which means they don't release harmful carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. This is a significant step towards reducing our carbon footprint and combating climate change. Moreover, electric vehicles are compatible with renewable energy. If you have solar panels on your roof or wind turbines in your backyard, you can use this energy to charge your car. This not only further reduces your carbon footprint, but also makes you less dependent on the grid. But the benefits of electric cars are not just environmental, they also have lower operating costs. Electric cars require less maintenance than their gasoline counterparts. They don't need oil changes, for one. The brakes last longer because electric cars use a process called regenerative braking, which reduces wear and tear. Moreover, refueling an electric car is cheaper than filling up a gas tank, especially if you charge at home or at work. And let's not forget the driving experience. Electric cars are quiet, very quiet. You won't hear the roar of an engine, just the quiet hum of the electric motor. They also provide a smooth ride, with instant torque and quick acceleration. And with fewer moving parts, there's less that can go wrong, which means less stress for you. But it's not just about the ride. Electric cars are often packed with the latest technology, from advanced driver assistance systems to infotainment features. So if you're a tech enthusiast, you'll feel right at home in an electric car. Clearly, electronic cars bring several benefits to the table, but they are not without their drawbacks. Though promising, electronic cars do have several challenges to overcome. Let's delve into some of these pressing issues. Firstly, the upfront costs of electronic cars are higher than their petrol counterparts. The technology and components that make up an electronic car, such as the battery pack, are expensive. This high initial cost can be a barrier for many potential buyers, despite the lower running costs over the car's lifetime. In addition to the cost, the driving range of electronic cars is a concern. Most electronic cars can cover between 100 to 300 miles on a full charge, which is considerably less than most petrol cars. This range anxiety can dissuade potential buyers, especially those who frequently go on long trips or do not have easy access to charging points. Speaking of charging, the refueling time for electronic cars is another hurdle. While it takes just a few minutes to fill up a petrol car, charging an electronic car can take anywhere from 20 minutes to 12 hours, depending on the charging station and the car's battery capacity. This longer refueling time can be inconvenient, particularly for those who need to use their car frequently or for long durations. Lastly, the lack of charging infrastructure in some areas is a significant drawback. While cities are increasingly installing charging stations, rural areas and less developed regions may not have adequate infrastructure. This can limit the usability of electronic cars for people living in these areas. While these challenges are significant, they are not insurmountable with advancements in technology and infrastructure. As we continue to innovate and invest in sustainable transportation, these limitations will become less of an issue. The road to a greener future may be paved with challenges, but it is a road worth taking. Now let's turn our attention to petrol cars, the stalwarts of the road. Petrol cars, also known as gasoline cars, have been with us for over a century and they've served us well. But like everything in life, they have their pros and cons. Let's start with the advantages. The most significant is probably the widespread refueling infrastructure. Petrol stations are ubiquitous. They're found in every city, every town, and along every major highway. This means that you can take your petrol car almost anywhere without worrying about running out of fuel. Another advantage is the long driving range. Petrol cars can generally travel between 300 to 400 miles on a full tank. That's a pretty long distance, and it gives you the freedom to embark on those long road trips without the anxiety of running out of fuel. And let's not forget about the lower upfront costs. With a petrol car, the initial purchase price is usually lower than that of an equivalent electric car. This makes petrol cars more accessible to a wider range of people, especially those on a tighter budget. But, as with all things, petrol cars have their downsides too. Firstly, petrol cars have high operating costs. Fuel isn't cheap, and the price of petrol fluctuates based on global market conditions. Plus, petrol cars require regular maintenance, such as oil changes and tune-ups, which can add up over time. Then there's the environmental concern. Petrol cars emit carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases, contributing to global warming and air pollution. They also consume fossil fuels, a finite resource that's not renewable and whose extraction can have harmful effects on the environment. Finally, petrol cars are dependent on fossil fuels. This means that they're susceptible to fluctuations in fuel prices and potential fuel shortages. While petrol cars have been our trusty companions for years, their impact on the environment is a growing concern. So, as we move into the future, it's worth considering whether the benefits of petrol cars still outweigh their disadvantages. Both electronic and petrol cars have their strengths and weaknesses, and the choice often boils down to personal preferences and needs. It's a crossroads we find ourselves at, as we compare the silent, eco-friendly hum of electronic cars against the familiar purr of petrol engines. We've explored the benefits of electronic cars, from their lower running costs to their minimal environmental footprint. Yet we've also discussed the challenges they present, such as their higher upfront costs and the need for charging infrastructure. On the other hand, petrol cars with their longer range and extensive refueling network continue to hold their own. They come with their own set of drawbacks though, such as higher running costs and a larger carbon footprint. In this journey, we've taken a look at the cost factor, both initial and ongoing. We've weighed the environmental impact, where electronic cars clearly have an edge. And we've considered convenience, which is currently a mixed bag, with petrol cars offering more refueling stations, but electronic cars providing the ease of home charging. In this evolving landscape of transportation, there's no one-size-fits-all solution. Your choice may depend on your driving habits, your concern for the environment, or even your willingness to embrace new technology. As we navigate towards the future of transportation, which vehicle would you prefer? Share your thoughts in the comments below.